Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining me this week. I am so glad that you guys are doing life with me. I'm so excited to be sharing with you a couple of my tips on how to decorate a rental space. Okay, so one of the many questions that I get a lot is, how can you have a beautiful home, or how can you decorate your home if you're renting? So this is actually quite easy. When you move in, or before you even move in, speak to your landlord or the agent that you're renting from and find out if you can paint or if you can move some stuff around the home. Like, for example, if you can move the cabinet doors, should you do that? And also make sure that you put the stuff back before you move out. So if they give you a thumbs up, color the walls, the paint colors that make you tick, that make you happy. So for example, you can put a focal wall in your entryway or just behind the TV to just make it look like there's wallpaper, because I know that most landlords will not allow you to, but they won't mind to have you paint as long as you paint it back to how you found it. And it's also a good thing, to make sure that you take care of somebody else's property as if it was yours. But that doesn't mean that you can't make changes to suit you. So the second item that you can change around as a renter is the lighting fixture. You can remove, so the generic ones that come with renting homes are normally the cheap end, because they're trying to save and all that stuff, and normally because they don't stay there, so they won't think of putting an aesthetic that would make people really enjoy the space. I don't know why, but that's just normally how it goes for rented spaces. So you could remove the light fixture that you currently have, as long as you speak to your landlord and also to or your agent. Make sure that you keep all the hardware, the screws and every little piece that you have there, and keep it safely. And then just buy a light fixture that will make you happy during your duration, whether it's a year lease or 2 or 3. You want a home that you love, and that should not be only limited to what you found in there. If you cannot remove the light fixture, add floor lamps and bedside lamps all around your home. Add some candles with gorgeous candle stands. This brings light, and I believe that one of the most important things to just make sure that your home looks amazing is just adding light or changing the light fixtures as it may. And then number 3 tip is, if you have cabinetry but that's just a little dated, you could remove the cabinet doors. So remove the screws and then just put contact paper inside. You could put contact paper, white contact paper, which you find at any hardware store. It's easy to install and it is easy to take off. It doesn't leave any residue, and then you just put it in the cabinetry, and then you put your dishes there. So your dishes work as part of the decor of a kitchen, and what that then calls for is to make sure that you are super organized. Make sure that all your dishes match and that you don't just throw things around. So do not go for open cabinets if you know that you are not organized. That will literally try you or expose you if you are a messy person. But a very clean and modern look is to have open cabinetry, and this is easy if you're renting. But before you move out, make sure that you put back all the doors and the hardware. The other thing, whilst we're on the cabinet doors, is that you could remove the hardware, which are the handles of the drawers, the cabinetry, any handles that you might find around the house, and replace them with, whether you're drawn to crystal or just brand new hardware that you find at any hardware store, like your Builder's Warehouse and that kind of thing. What you do is that make sure you have a little box that you can keep all that stuff that you take out, and the screws. Make sure you keep this safely, please. I literally, and then in a Ziploc bag, just label for which door is this. Is it the front door, the right door, the screws? put it all in a Ziploc bag and make sure that you pack it all together to make it easy for you before you move out, so that you have all things installed back as you found it. This, during your duration of your stay, it will just make you feel good and happy and enjoy your space as if it were your own. And tip number 4 is to bring in cabinetry. So I believe that some of our storage systems in rental spaces is so limited to the extent that when you come into rented space, it ends up feeling very cluttered, because you might have a lot of stuff and then the cabinetry solution there is just so little. You might not even find a way, in a place to put your linen, your towels, or in the kitchen, just a place to put your pots and your other appliances. The easy way is to make sure that you have, or you could actually just get your own. It's almost like an old trend that was there back then when we were growing up. It's actually coming back. You could just, be moving around with your own cabinetry. So this cabinetry, what you do is that you could just, make sure that you have it as the same height with your fridge. So when you move it into your space, it flushes. It actually looks as if your fridge is inserted into the furniture. And so in there, then in the kitchen, for example, you can just store your dishes, your appliances, and extra stuff to just make sure that it's not cluttered. And in there, you can also play around with having lazy Susans and easy adjustable rails to put your pots and your pot lids and all that stuff. So yeah, you could have one extra cabinetry at the size of your fridge to just make sure that you have extra space. And then in your bedroom, you could have a chest of drawer that will add more space for you to have that you can put your folded t-shirts, shirts, or any out of season items that you're not wearing. You could just put in a chest of drawer and make sure that it's painted in a neutral color to make sure that it doesn't clash into any space that you move into. Number 5, it is artwork and mirrors. I cannot emphasize as much on this. Any way to just zhuzh up your place, add a little bit of character into your rental space, is by adding mirrors. Also the same thing in art, also the same thing applies. Make sure that you confirm with your landlord that you can drill holes and that you can just patch them up and paint over before you move out. But just because you're renting doesn't mean that you can't have art, doesn't mean that you can't have mirrors. Art and mirrors give character, and mirrors especially give an illusion that there's more space, that the space is larger than it is. And you find that in apartments are a little bit small, and it can be tricky to make it feel and look larger. But if you can bring in larger scale mirrors, that does the trick. Before you drill any holes on anybody's walls, make sure that you get authorization and keep your word. Be a good tenant. I believe that for me, being a good and a temperate Christian is that I take care of everything that I come into contact with as if it was mine, because I know that my landlord is not, some guy that signed the lease. My landlord is God, and he has entrusted me with whatever property that I'm staying at the time. So I take care of things as if I'm literally reporting to the master in heaven. So just, always be drawn to being a good, servant to the higher master in heaven. And that comes in how you take care of things. Don't iron on the floor and put carpet burns and all that stuff. So not cool. So anyway, if you cannot drill, other landlords will definitely say no. If you cannot drill, just get full length mirrors that really have beautiful framing. Don't just get bland ones, but if you get like the chip end as well, or second hand, just paint on the frames and then put it on corner very strategically to make sure that you don't only use it to see yourself, how you're looking, but also to make sure that the space looks big. Artwork, I cannot emphasize how much that, especially opposite each other, the reflection of art in the mirror, it just makes the space look amazing. I love art. I use that in all my designs. I think it just brings a bit of sophistication into a space. The next one would be rugs. So sometimes you find that you come into a fully carpeted room, and so you're drawn to just putting your stuff in there without getting any area rug for that area. But the thing is that in most cases, even if they wash the carpets that are installed in rental spaces, you find that they are very generic. The colors are just bland and they do not have any character. For you to just disguise that, get an area rug that reflects your style and put it on top of the fitted carpet. And the other thing that you can do is to bring in bedside tables on both sides of the bed, depending on the space. If you do not have that much space, get one. At least that space where you'll put your phone if you're charging it. Don't be that guy that puts their phone on the ground or their books on the floor, when you get to bed. Just put a little bit of effort into making your space look good. So bedside tables will do the trick, and area rugs in your bedroom, don't forget that. And in your lounge, try to get larger, like your 1.7 and 2 meter rugs. And these don't have to cost you an arm and a leg. There are some that are really, really beautiful that can cost much, but then there are some that you can actually get at places like Chamdo, even Macro, all hardware stores that are about 2 meters, and those really look amazing in a family room or a living room. And then if you have a dining room area, go for a rug as well. Underneath that space, it just brings warmth and texture around your rooms. And then one other thing that I have noticed in the renting spaces that I've been to, and I'm not saying that this is everyone, it is that people buy large pieces of furniture, and then the next thing you move into a tighter space, and there is no place to move around. It's just so difficult to even do anything, and it just doesn't look and feel good. So go for the lean cut couches. As long as you're renting, I can tell you this, because if you're renting a bigger space, you can bring in your wingback chairs here and there to add a little bit of warmth and texture in there. Don't go for the full set of a couch. That is just unnecessary. And then the other reason why I do that is because you want to make it easy for yourself when you move. You don't want to be carrying all sorts of large couches. And the other thing is that you never know the kind of space that you'll move into next. So this allows you to have a little bit of maneuvering space in that aspect. So rather get a 3-seater couch or an L-shaped couch. That also works out, but make sure that it is lean in its size and it is not those bulk ones, because that is very, very difficult to make sure that your home feels cozy. It just feels overwhelming. And then always have complimentary chairs. That just takes it up a notch a little bit, and cushions to accessorize. So that brings me to the last point for today. It is accessorizing your home. Accessories. I cannot emphasize enough. Accessories come in form of cushions, lanterns, table decor, books and bookshelves, and candle stand. You can literally change accessories as seasons go, and it just looks like it's a different space, and it just looks like you're someone who puts thought into their home. So for example, right now we're in springtime. I just changed out all the neutrals that I had for winter. Not that there's anything really that we did in the home. I just went and changed around our accessories. And it's gonna be raining a lot. I love candles. It just makes the home feel warm and cozy, and so that also works out. And then on your coffee table, don't just leave it empty. Accessorize there. Go and get a vase and some fake flowers, and then when you have your money right, go and get some real flowers and put on your coffee table. And if you do not have a coffee table, you can literally go for the nested tables. You can get this at Mr. Price Home, at H&M and all that, if you feel that you don't have enough space to go for a large coffee table. But there are also small scale tables that you can buy in those stores as well. If you can afford to indulge yourself, might as well go get yourself a Choreographed and all those good stores, that coffee table and the coffee table accessories. You could even get baskets, like fruit baskets. You could get marble boards, and then you could accessorize on your countertops, right? So on there, what I normally do is that if I really don't feel like over accessorizing, I'll just use fruit as an accessory for that week, and so it will just make sure that people eat it but then it's also a decor piece for our home. So yes, those are our tips. I hope that you guys enjoyed this kind of video. If you would like me to address any other issues on how to decorate your home, leave me a comment below. I would love to assist you in that area. And if you loved this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Hit that little button on the corner there, and I will see you in the next video. This is me saying goodbye.